Hello everyone, I'm Darth Loquitur. Welcome to the channel. If you're looking for advice or just looking to get better at Grand Arena, this video is made for you. We're going to review an account today. 1.5 million galactic power, Relapse, the patron, and I just posted his fleet rank over and over again because I like fleet, and when I see somebody who's number one in fleet, that makes me happy. So let's see what Relapse has got in his account here. So we can see he's ranked 64 in Arena. He obviously scores higher than that on his payout. Fleet rank number one. That's great. If we look at his stats, the balance between galactic power in characters and ships, he's actually got really strong ships. More ships than you usually see at this galactic power. We can see TIE Advanced, Silencer, Starfighter. Houndstooth is at 7 stars. We got the Jedi in there. Starfighter's doing good. We got Geo ships all at Gear 12. Got Plo. Got a few Rebel ships. Got the pilotless Y-Wing. Got a Negotiator at 6 stars with a Relic Kenobi. That's awesome. If we look at the Executrix, we've also got a second capital ship here that's nicely built out. So he's got 2 good capital ships. He hasn't invested much at all in Home 1 and Endurance. So he had a plan from the start that he was going to get that Negotiator, it looks like, and that's what he got as his second capital ship. So this is efficient, no wasted galactic power over here in the fleet, and it's still a lot of galactic power in fleet. So he's got really strong fleet relative to his total galactic power. So we got an Anakin here, a bunch of 6-dot mods. He's got speed, crit damage, offense, health. So these are good mods, maybe even too good on the speed for Anakin. So I think this is just, your best character. You're putting your best mods on your best character. But that 21 speed on that mod is not necessarily the perfect thing for Anakin. And I think, as some of these other characters level up, you may want to rebalance your mods a little bit. But that's your arena team, and putting your best mods in your arena team makes sense. Padme has a ton of health, good speed, almost 300 speed. A little bit of extra potency goes a long way with her to land that kick. So Padme's in real good shape. We like everything we see there. We look at Kenobi. He's got the defense set. We like to see health and defense on Kenobi. He's got a ton of health again, 78,000 health. That's good. But a lot of speed. Now, I don't mind speed on Anakin or Padme, but speed on Kenobi is just kind of a waste. Kenobi doesn't want to take a lot of turns. His taunt comes up from other characters getting crit, for example. So we can get a lot of value out of mods that don't have speed. A 24 speed mod, especially those top 2 mods right there, those could really go on another character that needs the speed, because Kenobi doesn't need the speed. And the speed on the character does not help ships. So, for example, if you're trying to make your character go faster to make your ships go faster, that doesn't help, doesn't work that way. Lots of speed on C-3PO, that's good. So he's up and coming, got some potency on him to help land his confusion. Geo Brood Alpha. He's in good shape. Got a lot of protection on him. Big ball of protection. That's nice with the Geos because they all share that around. So you get a lot of protection. He's got real good speed. This account has a lot of characters that are at really good speeds. So Grievous, we got health all over the place. That's what you expect to see on Grievous. All kinds of health mods. 105,000 health. Looking good. Crit chance, middle of the road, that's fine. He doesn't really have to have high crit chance. He does well. We've got health on Bindo, health, and so I see some speed stuff on Bindo. His tenacity is low. I've discussed in some other videos what you want to do with Jolee Bindo is give him a really high tenacity. So you're going to want to put a tenacity cross on him, take that arrow and make that a crit avoidance arrow, and just really use Jolee Bindo's skills for what they're worth. And then we got a bunch of characters here. You can see a lot of characters at 85. Some of them are built up, some of them are not. And then not much stuff that's built up in the middle. We don't have a whole lot of Gear 7, Gear 8 characters. We get, pretty clean cutoff between the characters that he cares about and the characters that he doesn't. In the Separatist lineup, we got a bunch of stuff. So we see Asajj Ventress in there, as well as the Separatist droids and the Geos. Here in Bounty Hunters, we've got reasonable Bounty Hunter team. Clones, we've got a Clone Sergeant. We don't really want that Clone Sergeant. We got to get the ARC Trooper going to go with the rest of the clones. And we've got a Shock T, so we could have a Shock T-led Clone Trooper team. But that Sergeant is kind of a non-starter. If he's the only thing you got to stick in there, that's fine. Rebels, we did Phoenix here to get Thrawn, but other than that, really not much effort in Rebels at all. So that's a quick rundown of the account. That's what we can see from a quick look at Relapse, the patron. So let's go through the account review. For anybody who hasn't watched these, the strategy is that Grand Arena and fleet placement are going to be our main concerns. We're going to look at Grand Arena. We're going to look for at least one big solid defensive team and one big offensive team to beat through anything the opponent's got. And we want a base of teams for placement and for cleanup. We're looking for opportunities sometimes for 6-character teams if we can make sense of that to help with 3v3s. The goal of this advice is to improve what's already there. And for sure, some of what I'm going to say is what's already in progress for this account. So what's going well is number one in fleet, and overall strong fleets for 1.5 million galactic power. It's a lot of fleet, and it's good. And believe me, you can use that to your advantage in the Grand Arena. The mods are nice. You got a lot of good mods. You got a lot of speed substats. Overall, if I sort your roster by speed and I look at your character speed, you got a fast roster. So I like that you've spent the time on getting mods that have good speed substats. You've paid attention to that, and you've built your roster in that way. No wasted gear. When we go through the count and look, there's not a whole bunch of Gear 13 pieces pinned on a Gear 12 character waiting to level up. It looks like you're doing a good job of focusing that down and just attaching gear pieces to the guys that you're going to work on. So that's good. A lot of journey characters. We got Hermit Yoda in there. We've got a lot of unlocks like Palpatine, R2-D2, all kinds of journey characters. And the C-3PO, the Ewoks are built. The C-3PO is unlocked. And it's my assumption that this account's going for General Skywalker. We even saw the Asajj Ventress in there at 7 stars. So basically, we've got the requirements. We've got all the characters in some way, shape, or form being built and on their way. So I think, pretty soon this account will have a General Skywalker. So that's good. Opportunities, I think we've got really one squad that's built up with the arena squad. And then beyond that, we really don't have too many other characters that are relicked. And the idea of alphas is just to put one really big character in with a team of other scrubs. And you've got that going on a little bit with your Grievous. So, a relic Grievous with a bunch of droids, that's the idea of an alpha team. The droids are just there to create confusion while Grievous goes in and steals all kinds of banners from your opponent. I think overall, I can see some possibilities for your Grand Arena defenses, but I think in order to do that, you need to build some strong offensive teams to help you with Grand Arena. That's your opportunity from my point of view. So with characters and ships, of course, keep working toward that General Skywalker. And for your situation, because of the way you've got your teams built up, if you use the Padme team on offense, you really have the capability to underdog and just play, maybe even Padme and Anakin can take stuff out, a 2 or 3 person team against the opponent. The issue is you don't have a lot of characters built up that can solo. So, if you had a Vader with Palpatine, those two can go in against a pretty good squad and win if the Vader's relict. So what you're looking for on your team is something that can, win with very high banners by doing a solo. And what your roster lacks right now is a good, clean way to deal with Geonosians. And Enfys Nest is so good. You relic that nest, you can cut down Geos at all levels, and it becomes a non-issue when you see that your opponent's going to place a decent Geo team. You just put your nest against the Geos and win, and take your 59 banners or whatever you get for that win. So I would definitely make Enfys Nest a character that you start to farm, and it'll take a while to farm up all of her shards and gear her up and relic her up and whatever, but the sooner you start building her, the better off you'll be. I really think she could help you a lot. And in terms of an alpha, you've got an opportunity there to relic your 5s and build that 501st kill squad for offense. I've got a video out on how you do that if you want to watch that. And then the ARC Trooper needs to go in there instead of the Clone Sergeant. But the ARC Trooper, even if you watch my video, you'll see an example. My ARC Trooper's like gear 9 or 10. So you get the ARC Trooper unlocked. He doesn't have to be huge. It won't be a high banner team, but you can really take out like the opponent's Grievous or some Padme teams early on. You could take out a lot of stuff with these troopers. Obviously, I think you're working on Vader. I see that you've got his Merciless Massacre Zeta, and I assume that he's on his way up. To go along with him, I would really take some of those good speed mods, and as you build up your Vader, try to make your Thrawn really, really fast so that you can put in Vader and Thrawn, or Vader, Thrawn, and Palpatine or whatever. But you want Thrawn to go really fast and either trade turns with Vader and let him go first, or fracture something right away to get rid of a taunt or whatever you need to do to hold down somebody with Thrawn. So I think that's an opportunity again for a 2 or 3 man kill squad. Get a lot of banners in Grand Arena in 5v5s. And then I would relic Bosk. I mean, you've got the Houndstooth. Bosk is a great character. The Houndstooth is a great ship. And if you have a Zeta Bosk relict at your galactic power and you put him on defense with a bounty hunter team, it doesn't even matter if they kill your other bounty hunters. There's a lot of teams that will just time out against Bosk because they just can't kill him. Like a relic Bosk, relic 5 Bosk at this galactic power can hold defense on his own, okay? Or he pulls a really good team to make sure that they can deal with him. He's a hard character to deal with until the opponent has really hard-hitting characters to come back. What would I do for mods? Kenobi doesn't need to be that fast. Give them, I would say give them to Rex. Get Rex up to gear 12, make that bomb squad, and give those mods to Rex, man. He'd be running circles around people. And I know that some of Kenobi's mods are defensive, but again, just taking those 2 health mods that he has on the square and the diamond could speed Rex up a lot and put him up around 300 speed, and your clone team is going to be ridiculous if you can get that fast Rex. Jolie Bindo, I do recommend a crit avoidance arrow and tenacity cross and potentially tenacity mods. Read his skills very carefully, watch what the tenacity does for you with crit avoidance, and get your Jolie Bindo to 100% crit avoidance naturally. I like to have mine up around 120% crit avoidance just so that he never ever gets crit. And it can be really hard to work through him when he's built like that. But overall, I really don't have that much advice on mods. This account, it's a good-looking account with a lot of good-looking characters. And honestly, just keep doing what you're doing as far as mods are concerned and how you're building your teams. I did go back and look at your past Grand Arenas. And in your last 5v5, I took a look at what you were using on offense and defense. And I just have maybe a little bit of advice. You have such a strong fleet against most opponents that I would use that to your advantage. So you can scout your opponent ahead of time, and if you look at your opponent and they're not that strong on fleets, what you can do you can build a defense like this that I call a backline hold. So in the front, right in front of your ships, you're going to put Ewoks and bounty hunters. Those are mediocre defensive teams, unless you have that relic Bosk, and then that's a pretty good defensive team. But right now, your Ewoks and your bounty hunters are kind of, they're not going to even pull great teams from your opponent. He's going to use some teams and get some free wins, and then your negotiator is just going to be a dead stop for him. If your fleet with the negotiator, I think people at your galactic power are really going to have a hard time getting through that negotiator fleet. So if you put that thing down on defense, I think you got the hold. And you don't have to go crazy with the amount of ships that you put in there. You could put in 3 reinforcements instead of 4. You don't even fill in that 4th slot, and just make sure that it's like your clone sergeant. Assuming that you're using the Houndstooth, Anakin, and Ahsoka as your starting 3, then you could reinforce with the clone sergeant ship, with Five's ship, and potentially with Jedi Consular, and save your Plo for the offensive fleet, and save some of your other good ships for the offense. And I think you'd get a backline hold like that. Now, it's not as sexy as a full clear, right? Like save all your stuff and full clear your opponent. But man, in your last Grand Arena round, you had some heartbreakers where you lost by like 1 point, and you full cleared and your opponent full cleared. I'm telling you, man, getting a defensive hold there, and then you can get, have to take in 2 fleets against his fleet. As long as you get a win, you're going to capture that territory, and you're going to win. You're going to win that Grand Arena round. On the bottom side, you do the same thing. You put your Geos in front, and the Geos have that mechanic where, somebody's going to have to play a good team. And just looking at this setup, they're probably going to bite on the top lane first and take out those easy teams. Then they come down and they put their arena team up against your Geos, and they uncover Grievous in the back, and they got nothing left to deal with Grievous. And 1.5 million galactic power, you can pull tricks like that. Smart opponents will go, I don't see his Grievous, it's probably on defense. And I saw that you used Grievous on offense a few times. I would really recommend against using Grievous on offense, simply because when you win with Grievous on offense, you rarely get good banners. All his droids will take a little bit of damage, and you'll end up with very low banners. Putting him on defense is exactly the opposite. Grievous is phenomenal at stealing banners from the opponent. So even if they can beat your Grievous, he's going to take 3-4 banners from him, kill a character. He can make a mess out of the opposing team. And that's what you want. You want to go ahead and put him on defense and let him do the work. And this early in the game, let's say your opponent has a Jedi Knight Revan, they're going to want to use that Jedi Knight Revan against the Geos. But that's the team they should have saved against Grievous. So the likelihood that they're going to have a team that beats Geos and also beats your Grievous is relatively low. So both of your back lines here should hold. And if they do beat one or the other, as long as you get one hold on the back line and you can full clear him, you're golden. So again, that works especially well if you can look across the table and you see that your opponent's got weak fleet, because you have such strong fleet. Another option that you can use, if I look across your relic characters having that relic Padme team, again, at 1.5 million galactic power, Division 7, your Padme team is going to be able to hold against just about anything the opponents have. And if you look across and you see that their arena team is, a relic Vader and a whole bunch of scraggly Empire, and you just say, well, he's got nothing that can get through my Padme team. Then you put what I call a bottom hold, and you put your Padme team there on defense in the front, and you just say, okay, the opponent's never getting past Padme, so I can put 5 trash characters behind it, like literally level 53 trash. Doesn't matter, because you're betting all your chips that they're not going to get past that. In front, in the top, you put Ewoks, and you just put trash up top. You put your Executrix fleet up there, and basically the opponent doesn't get really a free run through on the top. But let's say they've saved 5 or 6 mediocre teams for offense. Once they clear the trash and get through the Ewoks, it doesn't matter how many mediocre teams they have left. They're just going to like crash against Padme like waves upon the shore and nothing happens. So you hold those bottom 2 zones and you let them have the top 2. And in doing that, you've saved your Grievous team, your Bounty Hunter team, Clone team, like all of your other good offensive teams. And then you just walk over to the other side, full clear all of their stuff. And it's another way to get a win. So those 2 little strategies is something for you to think about, a little bit different than what you're doing in Grand Arena now. This backline hold against weak fleets, this bottom hold if your opponent can't beat your Padme team. I think that's how you leverage the strengths you've got to your best advantage. So in terms of, other people watching this video trying to learn something from your account, I'm telling you right now, if you've got a 1.5 million galactic power account and it looks like this one, congrats. Keep it up. This is focused character builds. Whatever Relapse is working on, he's put enough effort in to make them useful. And I don't see a lot of, trash or half-built characters. So it's a focused account. I can look and see 2 very clear defensive teams with the Geos and Grievous. I can see 2 really good offensive teams with Padme and the Jedi Knight Revan team. And there's a good base of other teams. We've got Bounty Hunters, Clones, Empires, Ewoks, Phoenix. We've got a bunch of different stuff that we can place on defense or use on offense or use for cleanup. So when I look at this account, I think you're set up for success. There's, and you're doing well in the Grand Arena. I'm not saying that you're doing badly. I just think there's some strategies that you could use that would maybe keep you from getting those one banner losses. That I've had that before too, man, and it breaks your heart, and you're like, man, all I would have had to do is just put one less character or one less ship, and I would have got the W. So those are my thoughts on this account for Relapse, the patron. Well done, man. Keep up the good work, and see you at the top. Remember, if you're enjoying these videos, if they're helping you out, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel so you can watch more like this in the future, and join us over on the Discord. We got some lively discussions going on over there. We're theorizing right now what might come out as the next galactic legend, so come on over and have some fun with us on the Discord. Thank you all for your time. See you in the next one.